Imagine pulling up to your peaceful suburban bus stop, only to find a clipboard-wielding HOA enforcer berating your 5-year-old daughter like she's a hardened criminal for daring to stand near a flower bed. That's how my nightmare started. But oh boy, did it end with that self-righteous busybody tripping over her own tangled web of petty regulations. Exposed and humiliated in front of the entire neighborhood. In the sun-dappled cul-de-sac of Willow Creek Estates, where manicured lawns stretched like green carpets under the relentless gaze of neighborhood watch signs, lived Marcus Hale, a quiet widower who'd traded his high-stakes job as a cybersecurity analyst for the simpler chaos of single parenthood. His daughter, little Mia, with her wild curls and endless sketches of butterflies, was the light in his otherwise shadowed world. 2 years earlier, Marcus's wife, Sarah, had slipped away in a cruel twist of fate, a car accident on a rainy night that left him piecing together a life from fragments. To cope, he and Mia had built a simple wooden swing in their front yard, right at the edge where Sarah used to push Mia higher and higher, laughing until the stars came out. It wasn't fancy, just weathered oak slats, painted in Mia's favorite teal, with a tiny plaque etched "For Mom, Fly Free." Marcus had even filed the paperwork with the HOA. Those self-appointed guardians of curb appeal. But their silence felt like grudging approval. Or so he thought. Enter Vivian Thorpe, the iron-fisted president of the Willow Creek HOA board. A woman who wielded her gavel like a scepter and quoted bylaws with the fervor of a televangelist preaching salvation through uniform mailbox colors. Vivian was the epitome of suburban royalty, pearls around her neck, a perpetual smile that never reached her eyes, and a knack for turning community standards into a weaponized phrase. It's all about harmony, she'd coo at meetings, while fining folks for visible trash cans or unsightly holiday lights that dared to linger past January 1st. But beneath that polished veneer lurked a control freak terrified of any ripple in her perfectly ordered pond, especially if it threatened her re-election buzz. One crisp autumn morning, as the school bus rumbled down the street, Mia skipped ahead to the swing, her backpack bouncing like an excited puppy. She plopped down, kicking her legs in lazy arcs, humming a tune from her mom's old playlists. Marcus trailed behind, coffee in hand, waving at a neighbor. That's when Vivian materialized from her pristine SUV, parked crookedly on the curb as if rules were mere suggestions for lesser mortals. Her heels clicked sharply on the pavement, clipboard in one hand, phone in the other, recording. Of course, for documentation purposes. "Excuse me, sir," Vivian said, her voice dripping with faux politeness. Eyes locked on Mia like the child was defacing the Taj Mahal. "That apparatus is encroaching on the communal easement. And unsupervised swinging? That's a liability waiting to happen." Mia froze mid-kick, her small face crumpling in confusion. Marcus stepped forward, keeping his tone even. "It's a memorial swing, Vivian. For my late wife. Mia's just waiting for the bus. Like every other kid here." Vivian's smile tightened into a thin line. "Rules are rules, Mr. Hale. Subsection 4.7, no unauthorized recreational structures on visible property lines. It disrupts the aesthetic flow. And frankly, it's a magnet for loitering minors." She leaned in closer to Mia, her shadow falling over the girl. "Sweetie, you wouldn't want to cause an accident, would you? Mommy wouldn't approve." Mia's lip quivered. But she didn't cry, not yet. Marcus felt a slow burn ignite in his chest. But he didn't explode. Instead, he noted the way Vivian's phone angled just so, capturing every flinch. "You're filming a child without consent," he said calmly. That's not just rude, it's actionable. Vivian chuckled. A sound like cracking porcelain. Oh. Honey. It's for safety. You tech types should understand data collection. As the bus pulled up, Mia scampered aboard, glancing back with wide eyes. Vivian slapped a citation sticker on the swing's armrest, bright pink. Screaming violation, and sauntered off, leaving Marcus to peel it away like shedding a snake's skin. That afternoon, whispers slithered through the neighborhood like weeds through cracks in the sidewalk. Did you hear? Marcus is letting his kid run wild, endangering the whole block with that eyesore swing. Vivian had fired up the community Facebook group, posting a cropped photo of Mia on the swing. Captioned, "Concerned about child safety? Let's discuss standards." Comments piled on, "Totally agree. Viv, keep our kids safe," from her cronies. While others stayed silent, afraid of her digital wrath. Marcus scrolled through it all from his home office, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. He could have fired back, called her out publicly. But no. He'd learned patience in his old job. Hacking systems required waiting for the vulnerability to reveal itself. So he documented screenshots, timestamps, even pulling metadata from her post showing it had been edited to make the swing look rickety. Let her dig her own grave, he muttered to himself, sipping cold coffee as the sun dipped low. By evening, a formal notice arrived via certified mail, Vivian's signature scrawled at the bottom like a royal decree. Immediate removal required. Unauthorized structure poses aesthetic and safety hazards. 72 hours or face fines up to $500 per day. Marcus read it aloud to himself, chuckling darkly at the absurdity. Aesthetic hazards? In a neighborhood where her own yard sported a garish fountain that gurgled like a choking frog? He filed it away, then emailed the HOA board anonymously from a burner account, attaching his original submission paperwork. No response. But he knew Vivian monitored everything. That night, as Mia snuggled under her blankets, she whispered, "Daddy, is the swing bad?" He smoothed her hair. "No. Pumpkin. Some people just like bossing others around to feel big inside. Though." Rage simmered. Vivian wasn't just attacking Wood, she was chipping at their healing. The next day escalated like a bad sitcom scripted by a sadist. Marcus spotted Vivian patrolling the street in her golf cart, branded with the HOA logo. Naturally, stopping at houses to chat about the troubling swing situation. By lunchtime, rumors mutated. Marcus was negligent, letting Mia play unsupervised in traffic zones. One neighbor even knocked on his door, awkwardly mumbling, "Viv says it's a tripping hazard, maybe move it?" Marcus smiled thinly. "Tell Viv thanks for her concern. And ask her why her fountain isn't cited for drowning risks." The neighbor scurried off, tail between legs. Then came the board meeting at the community center. A stuffy room smelling of stale coffee and desperation. Vivian held court at the head table, her PowerPoint flashing images of ideal yards versus violations, with Marcus's swing circled and red like a crime scene. "We must preserve our values," she intoned, voice quivering with manufactured passion. "This structure invites chaos, think of the children." A few nods from her loyalists. But Marcus, sitting in the back row, raised his hand during Q&A. "Clarification, has the board reviewed my placement request from 2 years ago?" Vivian's eyes narrowed. "Irrelevant. Current standards apply retroactively." Murmurs rippled. A board member, elderly Mr. Ellis, shifted uncomfortably. "Viv, maybe we vote on it." She waved him off. "No need, executive discretion for safety." Marcus leaned back, noting how her hands trembled slightly on the gavel. Fear? Good. After the meeting, he cornered Ellis in the parking lot. She bulldozed you, Marcus said casually. Ellis sighed. She's persuasive. But that swing? Harmless. Marcus nodded. Help me prove it. Ellis hesitated. Then slipped him a thumb drive. Off-the-record minutes. She edits them before posting. Back home, Marcus pored over the files. Jackpot, Vivian had buried his request, marking it denied without board input. More emails showing her directing allies to monitor the Hale property for infractions. Hilarity ensued when he found her expense reports, $2,000 on neighborhood enhancement tools, spy cams disguised as bird feeders, pointed at problem spots like his yard. Wildlife monitoring. My ass, Marcus snorted, imagining her labeling kids as squirrels. Mia drew a picture that night, the swing with a big bad wolf, Vivian, complete with pearls, lurking nearby. She's mean, Mia said. Marcus hugged her. Mean people hate happy things. But we'll fix it. Tensions boiled over the following week. Vivian upped the ante, installing a safety sign near the swing, no loitering, HOA enforced. Then, anonymous tip to local code enforcement about abandoned playground equipment. Inspector showed up, puzzled, and left after Marcus showed paperwork. But the real gut punch? A letter from Child Protective Services, alleging neglectful supervision based on community reports of Mia left alone for extended periods. Marcus's blood ran cold as he read it on his porch. Mia chalking hearts on the driveway nearby. Vivian had crossed into felony territory, falsifying claims to weaponize bureaucracy. He didn't panic. Instead, he activated his network. Old cybersecurity buddies ran traces on Vivian's cams, revealing footage uploads to her personal server, edited to exaggerate Mia's alone time. One clip showed Mia swinging for 2 minutes, the submitted version? 20. With Marcus cropped out. Clerical error, she'd probably claim. Marcus met secretly with Ellis and another board dissenter, Lena, at a neutral coffee shop. She's forging signatures, Lena whispered, handing over docs. Used mine on that CPS form, I was out of town. Marcus grinned inwardly. Perfect. Let's turn our standards against her. The absurdity peaked when Vivian confronted him directly one evening, as Mia practiced cartwheels nearby. Mr. Hale. Your defiance is noted, she said, voice laced with venom disguised as concern. That swing mocks our community's ethos. Marcus crossed his arms. Ethos? Like spying on kids and lying to authorities? Her face flushed. I protect order. He leaned in. You protect your ego. And it's crumbling. She stormed off. But not before muttering. You'll regret this. That night, neighbors started whispering back against her. One left cookies on Marcus's doorstep with a note, "Fight the witch." High noon arrived at the emergency HOA assembly, packed with residents buzzing like bees in a shaken hive. Vivian strutted in, chin high, but her eyes darted, self-assured mask cracking. Marcus took the podium, projector ready. Ladies and gentlemen, behold the guardian of our harmony. Slides flipped, unedited verses, tampered footage, forged docs, hidden cam receipts. Gasps echoed. Vivian Thorpe didn't just bend rules, she shattered them, endangering a child to crush a memorial. Vivian shot up. This is slander. I acted for the greater good. Marcus smirked. Greater good? Like classifying kids as wildlife in your metadata? Or editing videos to fake neglect? The room erupted in laughter-tinged outrage. "You what?" someone yelled. Vivian's face twisted, first smug confidence. Then shock as board members distanced themselves. Finally panic as petitions circulated for her ouster. Ellis stood. "I move to suspend Vivian immediately." Unanimous vote. As officials escorted her out, yes. In symbolic handcuffs for the ethics probe, she sputtered. "This isn't over." But it was. The crowd's applause mixed with jeers. A cathartic release. Marcus watched. Satisfaction blooming like forbidden wildflowers in a HOA lawn. In the aftermath, the swing stayed. Now a neighborhood landmark with added plaques from supporters. Vivian's house sold quickly, to a family who painted their door bright red. Just to spite her legacy. Marcus and Mia sat on at one sunset. Her giggles filling the air. The HOA reformed. With Lena at the helm. Focusing on actual community over control. Marcus returned to his quiet life. But with a sharper eye for tyrants. Power unchecked breeds monsters. But patience and truth? They topple empires built on petty sand. Was Vivian the real villain? Or just a product of a system that rewards busybodies with badges? You tell me, was justice served? Or should Marcus have gone nuclear sooner? Drop your thoughts below. And remember, in suburbia, the real threats hide behind smiles and rulebooks.